As bodies pile up in the streets of Derna, the northern coastal city devastated by flooding when a torrential downpour broke through 2 dams, washing homes into the sea, Libya is rushing to bury its dead. According to hospital employees and representatives of the Eastern Parliament-backed administration of Libya, morgues are overflowing in hospitals that are still not functioning despite the urgent need to treat survivors of a catastrophe that has already claimed at least 5,000 lives. Authorities estimate that another 10,000 people are still missing, either swept out to sea or buried beneath the wreckage that has been scattered around the city, which formerly housed more than 100,000 people. In an effort to uphold Islamic principles that the dead should be given proper burial rituals within 3 days, emergency crews are sifting through debris mounds for survivors and bodies. According to Libya's Minister of State for Cabinet Affairs, Adel Juma, the Martyrs Committee has been established to identify the missing people and to implement procedures for identifying and burying of in accordance with Sharia and legal laws and standards. Trying to remove roads and debris to discover survivors has become an even more difficult task due to the damage Storm Daniel inflicted. As a result of the storm's disruption of communications, rescue attempts were hampered, and relatives outside of Libya who were awaiting word of lost loved ones experienced anxiety. Palestinian woman Aya said she has cousins in Derna but hasn't been able to reach them since the flooding. "I'm genuinely concerned for them. Derna is where my 2 cousins reside. I don't know if they are still alive at this moment because it appears that all communication is down. Watching the vids coming out of Derna is quite disturbing. All of us are frightened," she said CNN. The 2011 revolt against Muammar Gaddafi's reign shook Libya, and a civil war tore it apart. The extent of the damage highlights how vulnerable a nation that has battled conflicting factions and anarchy for years is. In contrast to its adversary in the east, which is governed by Commander Khalifa Haftar and his Libyan National Army, LNA, and supports the eastern-based parliament led by Osama Hamid, the Government of National Unity, NU, endorsed by the UN, is based in Tripoli in northwest Libya. Derna, which is located around 190 miles, 300 kilometers, to the east of Benghazi, is governed by Haftar and his eastern government. A tropical-like cyclone formed from the extremely powerful low-pressure system, which then traveled into the Mediterranean before crossing the Libyan coast. Last week, Daniel also caused unheard-of floods in Greece, but there were significantly fewer fatalities. The terrible storm occurs during a year marked by unparalleled climate disasters and harsh weather, including devastating wildfires and stifling heat. While other cities in the area were impacted by the flooding, Derna was the most severely damaged when 2 dams gave way, dumping entire neighborhoods into the roiling sea. According to a representative for the emergency and ambulance services, Osama Ali, Libya was not prepared for a catastrophe like that.